So I'm super happy and excited that I'm able to welcome to the Conscious Evolution Summit today, Sabine van Baaren. Welcome, Sabine.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation.
And Sabine, I just will read a few words about what your work is about and your background so that listeners know a bit of that, because maybe many haven't heard about you right now, but will have after our conversation.
Great.
So Sabine is a gifted sound healing expert, singer and songwriter. Both her beautiful angelic voice and her healing songs raise consciousness and help connect and realign to one's innate wisdom and power. She speaks straight to the heart, calming, instilling a deep, soft confidence. Her teachings and sound healings are filled with inspiration, light, and love, coming directly from Source Spirit. When she sings, she transmits light languages to raise vibration, to heal, awaken, and remember who we truly are. Yeah, and this is why I invited you. I mean, I saw you in a webinar with Annelou Smitsman. She was speaker also last year in the summit. And I just love the simplicity, but yet the powerful and deep reach of frequency and of vibration. And music is such a global, common language, kind of where we can reach into our hearts and much deeper than our minds. Especially in the modern world, we are kind of very used to shift all our awareness there and leave other important areas out. So, and this is why I reached out, and I was so glad that you immediately sent me back a yes. So I'm really full of joy to have you, Sabine.
Thank you very, very much. Yeah, this is for me an honor to be part of this beautiful Congress. I think it's beautiful what you're doing, and I know how much work it is, it must be, and how important it is to do this and to bring these wonderful people into the world so people can, yeah, be inspired on many different ways. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, as I always said, I just can't do it. I need to do it. It's just taking me, and I take all the challenges and obstacles which come with it. And I do it the third time. So it seems to be just my kind of service, which I committed right now to bring into the world and to help to raise the frequency and awareness, and also especially to offer some guidance and some support for people in finding their authentic way to contribute to co-creating basically another world where most of us really know in our hearts that what we see now in what we've created from a paradigm of separation and competition, that's not really deeply nourishing us and not really supporting bringing forth our full light and brightness and brilliance and capacities. So this is why I do all of that. And Sabine, I don't know you really well, and I wonder how did it happen that you found your way of contributing to that through music, through delivering support with your music? How did it happen? I assume maybe you haven't known that already when you were a child.
Well, I think everybody has a little seed inside their heart that will lead them finally to what is their gift to the world. I mean, we all have a gift, and we maybe all have many gifts. I'm raised in a music family, so very early, young age, I sang already professionally for people. And this was not easy. I think there's a lot of pain there. And so funny enough, I immediately went into a professional stage. I immediately went to have to work. I was invited. It's my soul who said yes, you know. So when I came to Germany, I'm Dutch. I moved to France and then I moved to Germany. I was called to immediately be on stage, to immediately sing with very famous people. And I never had this stage of trying out and fun. And so, boof, you have to be in front of 800 people or 1,000 or whatever. You just have to be there. So I was confronted with very deep fears and very deep, am I okay? Can I do this? Is my voice going to be there? Is it going to be stable? Can I handle what I need to give? And so I was going through a lot of trouble. But then on the other side, I was doing it because I was like, okay, I'm here, I stick to it and I do it. So I was a lot supporting many, many singers as a backing vocal singer and also writing songs and experimenting with that. And at one point, something in me said, it was like a voice, although I was on tour with a very famous German singer, and it was great fun. And most of the time I felt good, but something in me said, I'm not born to stay a background singer. It was like something deep in me, but not knowing what it was that I'm supposed to do. But it was an inner call saying, this isn't right. This is just a phase of my life that I have to do. And I continued being on stage and doing for other people choir work, which is, by the way, a very beautiful job to do. And you have to be very sensitive and to sing with them because you have to fit to their way of singing. So you have to be very open to their way. So it was a great, I learned a lot. But anyway, I knew I had this tool in me. I knew I was very talented, very gifted with my voice. And I don't mean this arrogant. I think we should all say what we can do good. It's perfect to say I'm a good singer or I'm a good cook or whatever. So I knew I have a very good voice. But I had this fear. And this fear was so strong that it was really stopping me. So I decided I have to find out. I'm going to quit, you know, it's just too much. So then I called a friend, and a friend offered me a session to America. There was somebody who was sort of channeling. And I called this wonderful lady and I told her, I don't know how to deal with this. I can't, you know, so please help me. And then she sort of got in contact with her, whoever is her guide, and changed her voice, really. She had a male voice in that moment, which was very interesting to me. And this voice said to me, you will find out. Stay in the music. He didn't say what I have to do, but he said, stay on the line. You will find out one day what it is. So I said, okay. And I guess he touched the center in me knowing what it is, but I still didn't know. So I chose to do a healer school. I followed a healer school with a Russian guy, a Russian healer. And I started a vocal band, an a cappella group. And we released a CD and we were immediately in the charts and immediately on stage doing concerts in many, many beautiful places. And I started to pray before I went on stage. And I started really to ask. I remember I would always go to the toilet and give a prayer, you know, look in my eyes and ask God, whoever God is, to support me, to give what is meant to be given to the audience through my voice. And this was already like a step to that. And I got feedback then from people like, I don't know what you're doing, what you sing, but something's happening different. And, you know, like releases of pain, or they just felt more calm, or something was going on already there. And then through the healing sessions I was giving with my hands that I've learned with this Russian healer, of course, a lot of vibrations was running through me already anyway, because I started at the age of 23 to work with spiritual topics. So I was already a long time into this whole spiritual seeking. So a lot of it opened up my hands like this, you know, the giving the vibrations. And I served many people. And then I thought, this is already totally magic, that energy runs through the head. I mean, nobody can see it. At least I don't see it. Maybe somebody who's psychic, but it's so amazing. I said, why don't I transmit what comes through my hands through my voice? Why don't I try to connect that and allow that which is going through me to allow it to work through my voice? And yeah, this was of course guided, because this is part of the calling I had, which I didn't know that it was that. But then I met a wonderful lady, and she supported me in letting go of all the judgments. It has to be in tune, it has to be beautiful, it has to be blah, blah, blah. And to really open up to what wants to serve in the good, in the benefit of all, because this is the only reason why I open up, and to allow what needs to come. So it was a little bit of birth, I remember. I was really like, it was like something wanted to come, but it was so strange. And then at one point it was clack, and the voice was there. And I was singing and speaking in languages, and I got goosebumps everywhere. And it was so deep. And I never heard that before. And even now when I tell, it's like, wow. And it was a remembering. It was like, this is my home. It was so strong, and it was so beautiful. And it felt so true. I never doubted it. It really was like, this is real. This is not something, it was so deep and so real that I knew this is something I have to bring into the world. I just knew it. So I just decided this is going to be a part of my gift to the world. And I started to work with it, with this lady together at first. She was a psychic in the sense of she could see a lot. So she was, I don't know how you say it in English, but everybody knows what I mean.
Clairvoyant.
Right. So when I was singing with people, she saw what was happening. She was seeing, like, sometimes I would sing a very long tone, and she would see like as if something was pulled out of the spine, something dark. And when it was gone, I stopped the voice. So it really was like she really could see the tune, the being in tune with what was going on there. So I learned a lot through her clairvoyance, and I learned a lot about what was going on when I was doing this work. After a few years, we decided we don't need to do this together anymore. We should both do our own stuff. So we separate. And which was also quite a challenge for me, because I thought everybody wants to know what she sees. I can't see that, so I'm not enough, So I overcome that. I said, it's okay. I'm going to give what I have to give, and I'm going to just open up, and we'll see what people believe and receive. So I started to work with people only alone, with my voice and with this guidance. And it was amazing. There were so many beautiful things happening, and so deep. And yeah, I could write a book about all these incredible experiences I had with beautiful people on all levels, like emotional, other lives, pain in the bodies, spiritual, like growing in the sense that somebody starts to be smelling like spirits and angels. And so it's really a lot of variety what can happen. And I don't guide this. I only open up and I say, I welcome what is important for the one who's there, or for those who are there. And I allow that, and I give what needs to be given. And then after that, we talk about it. And I'm always totally thankful and surprised as much as the others. What a miracle sound healing can be. And so I'm very happy that I have this tool and that I can bring it into the world, because yeah, it's another level. As you said, it's not a mental thing. It's really a soul, heart, emotional, spiritual gift that realigns us with that which we all are, which is in everybody, and which reconnects. So yeah, I'm happy I got there. Quite a trip.
Mm-hmm.
We are blessed with power. We are blessed with love. We are blessed with freedom. We are blessed to be. Remember why you're here. Remember who you are. Remember what you're looking for. Remember who you are. Remember what is really you. Remember who you are. Remember what you came here for. Remember why you're here. Remember who you are. Remember what you're looking for. Remember why you're here. Remember what is really you. Remember what you came here for. Remember why you're here. Remember who you are.
This speaking a foreign language, but I just notice when I hear this in your music, it just touches something in me where I would say it's far, far, far before this existence, far beyond this reality. But as you said, it's so solid in a way, and it feels so right and so true. And it just creates this feeling being home, being in a substance which feels much more home than the artificial world I see outside and how people moving and acting. So this other reality, this other frequency feels more true, more substantial, more relevant, more important, you could say, even though it's difficult for the mind to grasp and to explain and to make sense out of it. But deeper levels of me, I wouldn't say it's a cell level, it's just a different dimension from who I am, which starts to vibrate with that and resonate and relate to it, and also then feels more invited to also embody that and to come from that into the seen world, into this reality we are moving in. And I guess you get very often similar feedback from people. I just described it in my words, how I notice it and how I'm with it. And I just value that as very important in the time we are in now, because my sense is that I said once, it was a privilege for some in the past to awaken to that and to be in that frequency in the world, but it's really a necessity right now that more and more people wake up to that reality, to that dimension, and come really from an embodied, it's a force. I would say it's a natural force which then really can take you and move through you, and where in that sense I also would say, I also noticed when I was listening to you, that's for me also a modern way of being a mystic in this world, where you really know that yes, your body and your form is unique and is needed. It's an instrument through which something plays, but there is something bigger using that. And my sense, if more and more people of us really are able to surrender to that and to really shift identity to that realms, I just know that the world would look like different, and that gives us the power to do what we do when we realize that. And yeah, so I sense a lot of similarity and common worldview and understanding in how we are of service, just in different ways.
Yeah, beautiful.
And Sabine, I wonder, because I guess it's now for some years since you really move this through and use this, you call it light language.
Yes, it's
But
20 years ago I started.
yeah,
Yeah.
but did it change in the years, or is it kind of, would you say the language, the words kind of is a certain repertoire of words, but it's configured always differently and moved differently? Or how is your experience in this 20 years? How did that evolve, or how does this change, or how does it express each time?
In the beginning, it was not only the words and languages. I was always moving also a lot, and I could feel as if I was brought into a certain, I would do this with one thing, and then the other one I would be moving like that, and I would have a variety of different languages and energies that were really like for everyone where they stand. Like it would sound shamanic, it would sound angelic, sometimes heavy. And more, I stopped the moving. I don't move at all anymore. And now it's still not one language. It still resonates. I have been told, I think that's very interesting. It goes in resonance with me as if there is 12 tribes over the whole world. And these, in each tribe, there's like one high, like the council or whoever it is, the main chef, let's call it that way, the highest spiritual chef. And somebody saw that one day, that all these are sort of transmitting their information. So sometimes it sounds shamanish from the Russians, sometimes it sounds Inca, sometimes it sounds Lemurian. I feel very connected to that. One lady told me once when she was channeling, saying, "Oh, welcome our Lemurian singer." So I seem to tap in all these cultures, in all these different dimensions we once have been. And to me right now, it feels as if everywhere where there's something in you that needs to be healed, or you need to remember that you have a tool from there that is maybe stuck, or maybe you use it here, that I then am brought into this language from that phase, and I transmit something which is particular for you, even if it is in a group. So it's never one language. It's always like different sequences that I speak and sing. And some of them are very, very angelic, lightful, and some are, I think, for the inner child also. I've been told that there's also like little kids, as people have seen that in these circles, that they were sitting on the ground. They were not there, but somebody saw them, like as if they were listening, coming around. And so it's very various, you know, it's... yeah, it really goes in resonance with where you stand and what you need. Yeah. But it's true that there are some words that come very often. And some people say it sounds like Hebrew or Aramaic. There's also from that time, you know, I say very often Deus, which means God, and I also say very often Kahuna, which is a spiritual, what's the name? It's a healer, a priest from
I
Hawaii.
guess from Hawaii, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is all these roots we have in us, this inner wisdom from all these cultures, from these source cultures. We're all connected. We all have that in us, and I seem to be guided to give and to open up to, hey, remember you were blah blah blah, and there needs healing, and then I start to sing in a shamanic thing. So it's yeah, and it's still strange. I do a Zoom every week, and I was singing in the beginning, and for the first time I invited Mother Earth, with whom I do feel we should build our connection. I also wrote a song for that, but I invited her the first time. I never did that before, in the praying before I started to sing, and I really had the feeling it was her singing. It was really deep, and it was so different. And I said, "Oop, I never sang that way before." So I'm evolving too, and I'm exploring and changing. And as you said, it also transmits through me. So I'm on my way like everybody else. And yeah, so who knows what else is going to come.
Yeah. And I just sense, I mean, when I listen to you, being like that in our life just feels so fresh and new, and in this curious, innocent way of being open to really just receive what is happening. I mean, it's an interesting mixture, because in one hand you are really fully there with all of who you are and what you are. So it's 100% embodiment, and yet you don't know what is happening. You don't know what is necessary for the audience or for your clients. So it's always fresh, it's always new. And I would say this, for me, one ingredient in what life makes really so vibrant and interesting and special is this constant newness when you don't know. I mean, my sense is that in the modern culture where we are, we don't really give that enough space. We were trained and conditioned to look so much for safety and control and stability and what we know. But then, in a way, life feels very reduced. It doesn't feel like really living on full scale. Maybe it's a bit, the similarity comes in as if you would just use a few notes on your piano, but you have much more.
Yeah, beautiful.
But by being available for really all, we have to be willing to be open for the unknown. That's included. That's if you want to use your full range, the unknown and the unpredictable and some insecurity this is part of the contract.
Yeah.
But there it starts to feel really juicy and alive, and we kind of took that out of our life so much. We put it out of into the unseen, into no, not that, it makes me afraid. But at the other hand, it gives this juice and aliveness. And I just sense that with your music and what you do and your abilities, you really support people in using the full spectrum again, and maybe first realizing, oh, I'm so much more than I thought. Things start to vibrate where I never thought that's part of me. Yeah.
I wonder where that fear comes from. I mean, we come from cultures where there was a lot of religion. There was a lot of religions who were always also putting us down, you know, like you are only this and you're only allowed to this, and then comes, you know, so I don't know what it is. But what I do sense is that, of course, if you decide to go into that, I'm more than what is sitting here, it's also a matter of taking responsibility for everything. So it's also having to see, you cannot be telling it's his fault that I feel sad or blah, blah. You really have to start to work on yourself and to maybe check what is inside. And many people are afraid of that and are maybe also not ready for that, to really go and integrate that all and accept all these sides that are there as their own creation, which I find also difficult to say, because there are creations on the planet I would never say, wow, he created that he's starving. I mean, this is a heavy theory. But then on the other hand, if we do believe in that, and if everything is, if we're spiritual beings living a life experience here, and if we've lived many lives, then we have to sort of think of this theory. And yeah, it is about taking responsibility and to seek who you truly are, and then to go for everything. You really didn't have to say, okay, because when I do this work, of course, there goes a lot of light in everybody, but it's like as if you fill the bucket with light, but down under it is like dirt. So the dirt will have to get out, and you have to deal with that too. So it's not only, wow, super, and we're going to fly. No, there's also internal work that needs to be done. Not always, but this is something that can happen. And I think a lot of people are afraid for that, which I understand, because for me, my life is not always fun. But I've learned many tools, and to deal with that. For me, we're like the weather, you know, we have like a storm, we have sunshine, we have rain, it freezes, the leaves fall down, the branches break off, and then it blooms again. This is what we are. And we are connected to that, and also we are like that. So it's this process to accept that in us, that we go through all these phases, and to find tools that help you to process this. I think these kind of tools are a gift to support that. Not only also what you do, or people who bring this loving, God-given presence, and to awaken that in us again, can help us on so many levels to support that what we have to go through anyway.
Beautiful. I so much love that you really bring awareness to that part where, yeah, when there is an expansion and openness and light coming, that we can also see more the dirt and the chaos. And I guess we all notice that a lot of that is also now happening on large scale in the collective, where suppressed or unaware decisions and choices and what we've created is now coming to the surface, and we are noticing, oh, not everything what seems to be kind of coming out of our explorations and out of our inventions is always for the benefit of all. And now really taking responsibility to sort it out, to clean it up, to make other choices. This, I would say, is a huge part. And I just listened a few days ago to a beautiful interview from Drunvalo Melchizedek, whom I value a lot, where he shared what he always receives before we kind of are able to really, some call it this ascension or this ability to create another reality. We have to clean up the mess we've made. That's really part of our job, and inviting really everyone to celebrate that also. I mean, I always notice it from just a practical level, cleaning the space where you are living. Maybe in the beginning it can feel a bit, oh, I notice I have to do, but it's not so much fun. I would prefer others. But then when you start it and when you do it, it can be a big relief when you clear up, when you sort out, when you give things away which aren't needed anymore, or when you realize, I anyways don't need as much as I thought. So this simplifying life, clearing on an individual level, and then also contributing to that on a more global level. That's not so many people address that and highlight that, because it's not so sexy to invite people to just clean up the dirt, but
Yeah.
that's important.
I think maybe we should start with the kids, huh? I think the whole school system should have like classes where we invite kids to talk about this, and I think they know this, but they are raised in circumstances where they forget, or where they are not kept in this precious that they have. So of course, we as raised older people, we should work on us, but I think it's very important for the new generation that we learn and teach them and help them, to give them the support to see what and to reflect on that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Ah, Sabine, it's really great what you bring, because I also sense really taking the younger generations very seriously in what they perceive and what they value and what they see and how different they are. I mean, being an elder and having some life experience is one quality, but those, especially the younger generations, I just noticed they are coming with such a different setup. They are so differently configured, and really listening to them and giving them space, I sense is very, very important. And I just had a conversation with one of my daughters. I mean, she's 27 now, but she said she was invited in this climate conference in Madrid, and they say, we also hear the younger generation, and but she said, they say we listen to them, but they gave them spaces at 9 or 10 o'clock in the night where no audience was there anymore. So there is still work to do to give space to this generation, so that they are really heard and that they really speak in front of an audience and not just in front of an empty hall. So
Yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe there should be a conference where kids talk, where we talk with them and say, so what do you see, and what do you think is important, and how can we do this and that?
It's really, you pick it up. I really thought about that already. Yeah.
Maybe we should really do that. And in different ages also, like really an age for, I don't know, 7 till 13, the age where they are not yet, they can already reflect a lot, but they are not yet totally put into a system that tracks them. Yeah, who knows?
Lovely. And Sabine, I mean, I'm now really curious, and maybe our audience as well. When you tune into the quality which is kind of present in our conversation right now, and when we imagine that we are connected really all over the globe to people in different countries, different culture, different ages, different background, but really having this common wish to learn and to evolve consciously, and to really open up to the full spectrum of their multidimensional beingness. I wonder if you are available for maybe letting come through some of this light language, a song which is interacting with that field we are in right now together.
My body says yes. I have goosebumps all over. Yes, I'll be honored to sing for you all. As I said earlier, I can gladly open the space and see what wants to be sang and spoken. I would then invite everybody who's listening to this to sit back for a moment and to really close their eyes and to receive what I am receiving, and to allow it to I just need a sip of water. Okay. Sometimes it goes very quick. They're already there and it's like boof, you know. Okay. Pais na kaite ki yeutoi tantayana kayana ye ki yeutoi kongoya kangaya kangaya. Tae pehe na haupai tayatai koi koi poji hito yomba inde inda wahe. Nayana upai kaya kaya kaya. Tombohite enehesa sayanga kiyeuso opoya haite neyehete neyehete. No mohopaye kai kinge yeutoi oyosiata tayanda ye kiyete kiyete. Moye yindi usai ehinta kaya kanga ke yiko kawayane namayanda toyo waite ite toyana kaya kaya kaya. No pais que usayasi tosen no bos que usai que o disayasi no boy que o huaresan no boy que o huaresi no boy que juegue si o así son. No boy que si nada y si así. No boy que seus nada que llevo si son. No boy what is see what I see. No que what is seus the sun queria see. Te oi que juega se você sai. No pai que soy seis. No paz que soy que eu gosto de que são que jag ser oi seus que gogue você nação do boi de ai não que sua assim que o foi que se
Very powerful. Mm. 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 And I just wonder, Sabine, when you would imagine we really, many people are able to vibrating and moving in this frequency and really being an embodiment of our multidimensionality and really being aware and expanded into all our available forms in the seen, in the unseen. I sense that it's just the direction we are moving towards. But when you sense into that, what do you receive? How would you describe a world where more and more people would be able to live, to act, to move and contribute from that space, from that level, just to share your vision about that?
You mean my me, Sabine, here on earth, or you mean the light language? Whatever. Well, the me, Sabine, says it's all about love. Learning to love yourself in the first place. To heal your inner wounds, to love yourself, whatever it is. And to step out of the being afraid and accusations and whatever we all hear, and to really learn to stay grounded and to see it as it's all mirrors, it's all movies, and to really go back to this trust that there is a very deep, beautiful, loving source that is there for everybody, and that we can connect, and we are connected with all that. And my dream is that, and it's not only a dream, I think it's even more. I had my first concert this year in Cologne. Every year I start the year with a concert. And I said hello to everybody and I wished a happy 2020, and I started to cry on stage. I've never had that before. And I was, what's going on? But it was a crying of something very deep, but something very beautiful. It was not a crying of fear or pain or, but it was a crying of wow. It was this kind of crying. I hope you all know that. It's this being moved of something very, very deep and beautiful. And I have the feeling I sensed what's going to come. I don't know when, but yeah, I think if we work on our love level, on our trust, and to be open and to try to see the beauty in everybody, and not to look with our eyes of judgment and our eyes of pain and our eyes of neediness and whatever, but if we really try to open up and to see that in everybody there is something beautiful you can find, then we can reconnect this love energy, and so much can be healed, and we can be in such a more beautiful world. And this can be very small things. It doesn't have to be big, like always, well, we have to do, otherwise. No, start in your own home, in your own street. It can be very small things. And right now, with this whole topic, lockdown and everything we're in, I, of course, was thinking, how shall I act with all this? What is my position? What am I supposed to do here? Why am I here now? And many people go into one or the other direction. You know, either they bring out that, they fight for that, they fight for the rights, or they fight for the other side. But there is this duality going on, and they take a position which creates duality again. So in the beginning, I decided I'm going to show what I think, which is maybe true. And I immediately got caught in the duality and immediately was pulled down into this strange vibration that's going on. And I said, no, this is not my path. My path is to bring love, to support people out of their fear, and to help them so the vibration raises, and so that we all come into a new vibration behind all this. Nobody knows where it's going, but that's the best thing I believe we can do. Stay in trust, trust in your power, trust in your wonderful physical body who is so intelligent. I mean, we don't even know how intelligent it is. And we underestimate this body. It's so much wiser than all the doctors on this planet. I mean, of course, they are important. I don't want to say we don't need doctors, but to trust our body, our soul, and to try to support, to not go in fear, and to stay in trust that there is a loving vibration, and that it's all part of a plan that in the end brings us to something beautiful. Why I cried in the beginning of the year.
Mhm. I relate to that also very much. Although on the outside things can look very challenging and difficult, but I also notice in my core, it's all is well, all is well. We are on the right path. That's just symptoms of something. It's part of it. But it's as if I could already smell and touch the new. It's just, it's really there. It's already there, and it will find its way. It will. It's yeah. So I'm very. I just know that it's not a matter of exchanging opinions or something like that. There is a deep knowing that all is well and we are on the right track, and something will shift. And of course, then it's also the art of how can I be of service to that and not kind of stop it or hinder it, but really make it a forward movement into a not really visible future now, but it's some of us we can get it already.
The smell. Well, this is, of course, it's an interesting things that I think of. I mean, people like Seth, who've written books where they say it is all, there is no time, everything is at the same moment, which means it's already over. There is a phase where it's already over. This is sometimes what I also think. I tap into these different timelines. Yeah, when I sing and work, I'm brought into another space, another timeline. So if this is true, maybe it is already done, and it's maybe true that we can tap into the future, although we create the future. This is what I find so complicated and at the same time interesting, to sort of go to your soul in the future and to say, so tell me, where am I in 1 year? What do you want me to do? And some people do that. I sometimes try to do that. Till now, it didn't really work. But maybe it did, like, these instincts I have, maybe that is that my soul brings me to the future. It said, this is what you should do. What I find quite challenging is to talk with people like you about this is very beautiful and easy because we're on the same line. But how do we deal with all those who are in fear and who are sick and who are afraid of their children and who are in this collective thought, I would almost say trapped, not maybe daring to look somewhere else because it's there, they hold on that, you know, it's like, how do you deal with that? So I try also there to, I respect that they are where they are, that they want to see it that way, but I also try to support them to open up a little bit, say, hey, maybe, what about this? And to delicately bring a little bit of other vision in their lives.
Yeah, and already my sense is that already when you are really embodying another worldview and another frequency, and you are more open and connected to love and have this confidence also, without you convincing someone about something, they sit in your vibration, they sit in your fragrance, and I just believe that in our essence, in our core, there is not so much difference. And whether they are conscious about noticing that or not, there will be a part which is in a similar frequency. And just being in the proximity of you, of someone who already embodies that on a wider scale, that already makes a difference, and that already contributes to something different. So I really would love to encourage everybody just also valuing, so whatever you reclaimed from your wisdom, from your knowledge, from your confidence, that we are moving towards through a challenge, but towards something really new, and acknowledging that that's already a huge contribution. And I mean, and often out of that, it will also be seen then in different kinds of activities, or maybe even in some more passivity sometimes, where you just realize, where I was active until now, it doesn't really feel true for me right now, and maybe it's more time to really withdraw and to really look insides and be on my own, to find a new authentic way of being active and expressing. So I deeply trust in that. And when we are able to tap into a field like this conference, like many others, I mean, you can join events like that, I guess 10 different every day. So it's so much is happening which delivers the or which midwives something new. So that's I guess that's a lot of what we can do and can contribute. Yeah. So, and Sabine, we are coming at the end of our conversation. The time is really going fast, but I just wonder what you would like to close with this space and time together in this Conscious Evolution Summit for this year. So is there anything which I haven't asked you, which we didn't address, or which is just feels for you as a beautiful kind of completion of what we touched upon in our time together?
I think we said a lot. I don't really know what else I could say. Yeah, trust in your beauty, trust in your soul, trust in your source, and believe that there's wonders waiting, many wonders, many synchronicities. And if you ask for it, and if you open up to it, to experience that and to receive and to be guided from your higher self, from your soul, if you really, even if you don't know it yet, but if you allow and say, okay, I go for it. I've done that. I wasn't there when I started, but I just said, I want to know. So I asked for guidance. And I had so many insights and so many confirmations of what I was supposed to do, that I would suggest that people do that they ask their soul, their innate wisdom, their whatever, if they can believe in archangels, in guardian angels, in God, Jesus, whoever they believe, or their inner higher self. And if they don't believe in anything, that they say, well, I would love to know, give me a sign, yeah, whatever it is, to open that door to that what we truly are, this divine, wonderful souls.
When I feel God and God is in me, spreading your beauty and love, carrying me gently through waves like a sea, holding and keeping me up. I know this is real, and all that we need to do is make it reality. Trust in the truth we see. We are here to become who we really are.
Beautiful. Thank you for that invitation. And there is this possibility right after you in the audience have watched this video, you can really also share what this conversation did to you, how it registered in your system. Maybe share your vision of what you see when you imagine people vibrating from there, or maybe sharing some of the signs you already received or which you maybe received during this conversation. So I'm really happy if you share that. I also share some of them in the newsletter, or you could also use the Conscious Evolution Summit Facebook group to share something of that, because that's also part of supporting each other when we share what is opening up and what we see and how we perceive it. That opens us also for this huge variety and the uniqueness, how life chooses to express through us. So take advantage of that. And Sabine, thank you so much for your presence, for your honesty, for being part of the space in your unique way. I really enjoyed our flow together, and I wish you all the best for your next events, for your personal life, and looking forward, maybe if life brings us together again.
Yes, that would be beautiful, yeah. Thank you too, Puria. It was a beautiful talk with you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And it felt very easy, very good, and very loving. And yeah, I think it's great what you're doing. And I hope many, many people will benefit from this. And will open up to that space in them. And so we can create what we're really here for. Create this beautiful planet, this loving togetherness and peace. Enough for everybody. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, Sabine.